Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, is your IRA an IOU to the IRS? Well, let's think about that question because I see that happen time and time again. When people come to us from all around this country, some actually starting to come before they retire, but most after they retire, and some after they get hit with these required minimum distributions, right? So if you're a high income earner, strong saver, and tax deferred, like many of you have said, Chuck, it's like you talk about and write about in your books. 95% of us have saved 95% of what we've saved that hasn't been taxed yet. And that sets off a whole stealth set of taxes to federal, state, Social Security, Medicare. Well, the required minimum distributions, when the government starts forcing you to have to take money out, they keep changing the rules. Well, those rules changed again this very week. And that's for inherited IRAs. And if the person you inherited the IRA from, right, if it's a non-spouse, was taking a required minimum distribution, it's been that you then needed to continue that and still empty the account, right, by taking that every year, but definitely having the account emptied within 10 years. Now, they've said, no, it doesn't matter whether the person was taking an RMD or not taking an RMD that passed on that inherited IRA. You don't have to take an inherited IRA distribution this year. Well, folks, I'm talking about inherited IRA distributions. I'm talking about your own required minimum distributions. Learn how to remove yourself from the tax system. The deductions that I'll teach you that allow you to convert from IRA to Roth IRA are dissipating. Taxation is going to increase with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. And one of the things that really kind of stood out, and I'll leave you with this, is kind of a startling statistic, is that by 2030, about a quarter of our population will be over the age of 65. There'll be more 65-year-olds in this country than 18-year-olds for the first time in this country within roughly the next 6 years. But listen to the Bureau of Labor Statistics in this statistic. Starting in 2024, over 12,000 people a day will turn 65. Over 12,000 a day, folks. Medicare, which is already underfunded, trying to time up Social Security. And I think of one of the 7 tasks in the article I talk about in Wealth Radio this weekend. 7 tasks for those approaching retirement. So whether you're trying to get to retirement or better through retirement, folks, the time to act to not have your IRA be an IOU to the IRS, because that IRA, when you either take from it or the government forces you from it, sets off all kinds of extra tax that you can control and prevent if you take the initiative. It says it's no wonder that so many investors seek out extra guidance at this stage, right? Transitioning from this accumulation phase to distribution phase. A number of you have reached out and said, Chuck, we have no distribution plan. We're still stuck in this accumulation plan, and that hasn't gone as planned. And when we ask about taxes, we're constantly told nothing. Go see the tax professional. The tax professional says, go see the financial professional. But it says because decumulation, which is the distribution phase, is fundamentally more complicated than building up a portfolio in advance of retirement, investors are hurtling. Now listen to this, hurtling towards retirement quite reasonably wondering about the viability of their plans, the taxation of their plans, when to plan Social Security, how to take care of inflation, market deterioration. Folks, we compare an archaeologist to an architect, and I'll leave you with this. One is recording history, looking at history, and recording artifacts. That's the archaeologist. That's what most people have as a CPA. You want a tax architect. That's the visionary. That's the innovator. That's the planner that teaches you how much less you have to pay by doing what you can learn to do today to save tax tomorrow. Don't let your IRA become an IOU to the IRS. RetirementProtected.com, retirementprotected.com.